Hello and happy New Year, Gap Fam. We are back with a new video, a new year, a new collection. And I am just so excited to be back. As always, I feel like it's been a minute since my last chart and review, so it feels so good, but also like, how do I do this again? But anyways, we are kicking off the new year with such an incredible collection. And I feel like I say this all the time, but truly this one is one to really, hit off 2025 with a strong note. And this collection is I Am Warrior. I think is it I Am Warrior, I'm Warrior, or just Warrior? It's one of the three. Warrior is the main theme. And I think that I've said this many times before, they honestly just continue to kill it with the production of the campaign videos, the messaging behind campaigns. And I'm just so excited to see if this is how we're starting 2025. What is the rest of 2025 going to look like? And it's just all about the impact that the brand, the company is making beyond activewear. And so I truly, truly do love seeing the evolution of the product campaign videos and everything like that. So I just wanted to make sure I gave some love to the production team and everything that they're doing when it comes to the collection, again, beyond the actual activewear itself. Now, with that being said, some of you might be like, who the fuck are you? Well, my name is Gabrielle Tongo, but you can call me Gabs, and this channel has become a full-on just Buffbunny collection try and review video. May change this year, but these videos that you see usually set up like this means that it's a Buffbunny try-on and collection. Is a try on and review. No matter what size you are, no matter what your preference is, I have heard many, many times that my video helps so many different individuals. And at the end of the day, that's what I want from these videos. I want these videos to make you feel confident and good about your online purchases because we work hard for our money, okay? And there's always so many things that we want, and sometimes it's just so hard to narrow it down, but also to know the nitty-gritty details. And that is literally why I sit here for an hour to an hour and a half and just talk about activewear. So with that being said, if you want the full details on the I'm a Warrior collection coming up on Saturday, January 18 at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, then just keep watching. As always, there's a few housekeeping things that I like to do in my videos, and that is number one, although your girl is an exclusive athlete with Buffbunny collection, one thing remains true, and that is I will always tell you the truth about what I think about certain pieces, certain collections, all the details, because at the end of the day, like I said, these videos are for you guys to make sure that you guys have all the details that you need in order to shop confidently. So there's literally no one winning if I lie about it, and therefore we are not lying around here. You know what I mean? So that is first and foremost. Second of all, there is a free follow along PDF that goes along with all of my try and review videos. And that's because I, one, like to share just an excessive amount of other details to make these videos as short as possible. We have put them into a PDF. So you guys can download that free PDF down below. So pause the video, download the PDF, and then we're good to go to keep rolling here. In that PDF is additional comparison photos, measurements, additional notes, a quick synopsis about what I think about the piece or my sizing, etc. There's also some color comparisons in there, thanks to all the other athletes that contribute to this, because I know that it's one thing to do all of this, which do the color comparisons. Big kudos to the other athletes that do this and allow me to include it in my PDF. So thank you guys. You guys are the real MVPs out here. And you just have to download the PDF, okay? With that being said, if you guys have any additional questions at the end of this video and after reviewing the PDF as well, you guys are always more than welcome to leave some comments down below, or you guys can send me a DM over on Instagram and I will be sure to answer that through a voice memo, additional images, whatever that might be. I have got you. Last but not least, if you guys want to save 10% off, you guys can use the code GABS. Not only does this give you guys 10% off, I do get a commission from this, but it also helps the company know keep Gabs around. Your girl has been around since 2017 and we want to keep that going. We want to make it to at least the 10-year mark. You know what I mean? So if you guys want me still around, then make sure you guys go ahead and use the code GABS at checkout. And as always, I want to make sure I thank you guys for choosing to support me, my family, this whole production all the time, everything like that. And so make sure to let me know if you guys do choose to use the code GABS so I can say thank you. And if you guys want to win a Buffbunny collection gift card, I highly recommend maybe going over to my Instagram because I may or may not have a giveaway going on over there. Just saying. I also think that we might be doing a giveaway in this video, so you might want to be paying a close attention to the video and not skip too far forward, because I do think that a giveaway is the best way to start 2025. Now for real, let's get into this try and review. All right, so like I said, we are starting 2025 very, very strong here, and I need to just get right into the pieces, the colors, and all the things, because there's just so much to go over. We are starting with a big collection. Like, there's usually like a smaller, medium, and bigger. This is definitely more on the bigger side. A lot of new pieces, a lot of beautiful colors, and I am just so excited to see some of these pieces hopefully return. But I know that some of these are marked as limited edition as well. I am getting clarification from the team as to what limited edition means, because I just want to know, like, is this literally our only chance to get these pieces? Or is this like our only chance to get these pieces in these specific colors? And will we see them later on in new colors or like updated fitting? Like, I need the full details. So I'm still waiting on that reply, and I'll let you guys know what limited edition really, really means, so that you guys know, like, should I be on this, or like, can I think about it? You know what I mean? Up here on the screen is a little bit about the collection itself and the campaign itself. I always think it's important to kind of highlight the why and the reasoning behind the names, the colors, the whole campaign itself. Like I said, I believe that Buffbunny collection is doing such a great job of making a bigger impact than just making cute as fuck activewear, okay? Like, I think it's so important to be making an impact in our lives in such a different way. And so I truly, truly do love so much of the messaging that went behind this campaign. Now, let's start with the colors. The colors is really giving me like a flashback to like a year ago today of the Genesis collection. And we're seeing a lot of similar colors, but as always, just slightly different. I literally am so amazed by how many times you can bring back a color, but like make it ever so slightly different through an undertone or, you know, intensity or muted. Like, it's so, so cool to see the millions of colors that are under the rainbow. And so with this collection here, we have our neutrals. So we have our white, our oat milk, and literally neutral. We have our strawberry milk, our rose water, and then our smoked cherry. That's kind of like our pinks and reds. We have our greens, we have Arctic Moss, Frosted Sage, and Shadow Sage. Lastly, we have our blue, black, gray. So that's Onyx Black, Charcoal, Blue Steel, and Sterling. So a nice mixture in some of the color variations there. And again, very much on the more like muted palette that we again have seen through various collections from last year. So it's definitely on the like more muted side. I do find that these colors are a little bit more vibrant than the ones from Genesis. And you'll see that as I compare certain colors that look the same. For example, comparing strawberry milk to berry ice, while they do seem like they were going to be the exact same, I found that berry ice was like a little bit more muted, and strawberry milkshake really came through with a little bit more pink. So those are our colors in this collection. Something new that Buffbunny collection is doing is breaking things down by different disciplines. Now, you may have noticed this if you guys saw the Gabs, you know, gift guide that came out in December, where we broke down things in discipline of mobility, cardio, strength, and lounge. I think that was. And so far the feedback is people are liking kind of the division of disciplines, but I think something that I really want to emphasize too is that like truly at the end of the day, you can wear these pieces however feels right for you and your lifestyle and what's comfortable for you. I know for me, when I was making that gift guide with Buffbunny collection, which by the way, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have such an incredible opportunity to have a full blog post spread on my favorites and the gift guide. I was even on the website for a little bit. It was literally the coolest fucking thing ever. And I always have to thank you guys for such an amazing opportunity. So like, side note, because we didn't get to really talk about that here on YouTube yet, I just have to pause and say thank you, but squirrel brain coming back. As always in the PDF, I always like to have the breakdown of the actual pieces when it comes to the fabric percentage. So if you guys want those details, make sure you guys do have that PDF handy. Now let's get into the pieces. And the way that I want to do this in this video is do leggings, bottoms, sports bras, top, hoodies, jackets, bodysuit, lounge, and then accessories. All right, let's start with the POSHKNIT V Scrunch what is it? POSHKNIT V Scrunch legging. I was right. I was just doubting myself for a second. But these leggings are very unique, I feel. I thought that initial reaction, I was like, interesting to see the V in the back. We've literally never seen a lower back waistline situation. And when I put them on, immediately what they made me think of is like the bodysuits that we saw in Genesis, where it had the very, very low back. It's essentially that, but like just the legging versus the whole bodysuit. I don't not like it. I think for me, I'm having difficulties with the POSHKNIT fabric itself. So it's not necessarily the design of the V back, it's more so the POSHKNIT in itself I'm struggling with a little bit, because unfortunately with these ones, I did get pretty bad camel toe. Like out of all the leggings, I think this one and the Form Seamless give me the worst camel toe in this collection. So that's something that's super annoying because as you guys know, I like to go commando. And so using underwear, panty liner, all that stuff is just like annoying to me to have to cover the camel toe, but like that's something that I'm gonna just have to do because I do like these leggings, especially this green color. It's just so pretty, and I genuinely want to just like get more comfortable with the POSHKNIT fabric and like really play around with it. But yeah, unfortunately for me, and I don't know if it has something to do with like the way that the scrunch is and then the like fabric, but like I find that it looks so good in the back, but for whatever reason, we got to impact the front. You know what I mean? Like the V low back in the back with the scrunch makes the cheeks look great. So like we're looking so good from behind, but from the front, not so cute. So that's the problem that I'm having with these leggings specifically. And I have had problems in general with POSHKNIT, and I thought maybe it was like sizing, but like even with these leggings, I did go ahead and get a small and a medium, and both of them did give me the same issues. If anything, the small gave me less camel toe, but the problem is the rise on me is kind of funky. And so I found that they were rolling and sliding down a lot just because the fabric itself, but then also just like the rise of it and everything. So I'm just having like issues, okay? The mediums on the other hand felt good rise-wise, but it gave me even more camel toe because I had excess fabric. So I'm just struggling because the POSHKNIT fabric is so beautiful. It's like velvet. It's so nice on the skin. It feels so luxe. It feels just so good. But like, if you're giving me camel toe, I cannot do it. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, those are just going to be leggings that I wear at home with a long sweatshirt or long t-shirt, whatever, but we gotta cover the front. And so that's just really annoying because like I said, I genuinely love the fabric. I love the design, but that's my situation. And again, maybe it's just a me thing, but it's a thing, okay? Now, when it comes to the V-back in the back, I didn't have any issues with it, like showing my butt crack or anything like that. I do think that you'd have to be mindful of the rise of your underwear, just because depending on the rise of your underwear, whether it's a thong or a G-string or regular underwear, whatever it is, I can definitely see it creeping above the V because it does come back. When you see me face the side of in the video, you'll see that like the front rise is obviously higher than the back. And so you can see the significant difference that there is from like where it sits on my waist and then when it comes down in the back. So just something to be mindful of when you're deciding what underwear to wear. As I literally just said, I'm a big commando girly, so I don't have to deal with that very often, but I do want to just mention that for those who do like to wear underwear, that you're just gonna need to be mindful of how high the rise is. Let me say underwear one more time. On the underwear. Something else that I wanted to notice about the POSHKNIT fabric in general from the first time that we saw it in the deadlift collection is that this one has a little bit of a lighter compression. However, they are very still similar. And then obviously the biggest difference is the V in the back of the legging in regards to design versus we have not seen that yet. So just something to keep in mind is that it's slightly lighter compression, but not like a significant amount. I still found that the compression was very much still there. Next up is the Legacy leggings. We love the Legacy leggings. The Legacy leggings are my all-time favorite Newbury legging. You guys know this if you guys have watched many of my videos. I say it every single time because they truly are my #1 Newbury fabric legging. We are seeing it in a few new colors in this collection specifically. Not too many, not as many as the POSHKNIT V Scrunch, but we are seeing it in 3 colors for this time around. One of my favorite colors is this smoked cherry. I love that it's kind of like a mixture of a burgundy, reddish, brownish, pinkish situation. And so I really do love this smoked cherry color. The Legacy leggings are also one of the few leggings that are still ultra high rise. You guys know me and my rise situation. The high rise for me is not high enough in my usual small. And so then it sits kind of like right where my belly button is. But then because I carry a lot of my body fat in my midsection, I tend to get a lot of rolling there. And so that is the problem that I have with, for example, the POSHKNIT V Scrunch legging, is because they are technically a high rise. They do sit the way that they sit. And then that's why, as I was mentioning when I was just talking about them, I went up to a medium and the rise was perfect on that one. But then I combat the issue of just more excess fabric in general. So I do love how the Legacy leggings are one of the few that are still standing of being ultra high rise. I know not everyone likes that, especially if you have like a shorter torso or anything like that. But personally for me, I have a non-existent torso and I just love it. And I think it's just because I'm used to the fact that like my leggings and my bra meet each other on my body, and I'm like okay with that. I don't know. But anyways, the legacy leggings, no changes there, and they're just still the legacy leggings that we all love with the butterfly detail on the back and everything like that. So if there is any legging that I suggest you trying for the first time, if you are a first time Buffbunny collection customer, it would be the legacy leggings. All right, the Airbrush everyday leggings. This is another piece that we have not seen before. We are growing to love the Airbrush fabric so much, especially with your girl being in her running girl era, which has taken a little bit of a pause in the last little few months. But this fabric is really nice. It's kind of like our new performance fabric that is like a go-to for many of us. And so I do love seeing more styles in this fabric specifically. This one I do like a lot because it kind of is like a cousin to the legacy legging. What I love a lot about the legacy legging is what I just said, which is the butterfly detailing that's on the back. So this one does mimic that a little bit with the front and the back. So the back has two and the front has two little small ones as well. So I really love these little details to really just make a legging look a little bit different and accentuate the female curves just in a different way. And so I really do love the overall design of the everyday Airbrush leggings. Now I will say these ones are pretty high in compression, like they are tight. So just be mindful of that. I swear to you, I literally thought I might have busted a seam when I put the size smalls on because I was like, I heard that. And holy shit, this is tight. So for these ones specifically, I did size up, which is something that I typically do in the Airbrush fabric just because it is so compressive. Again, it is a new fabric as well. So I do find like even these Airbrush leggings fit differently from the other Airbrush leggings. And I think also the design plays a huge factor. Like for example, one of the Airbrush leggings that we saw last year had like a bonded in them, right? And like these ones don't. So I do think that since Airbrush fabric is so new, we're going to continue to see different opinions on the fabric itself, depending on the piece that we're seeing as well. So that's just something to keep in mind, that it's not that our opinions are changing. It's just that different designs are feeling a bit different with this specific fabric, because those are two different things to kind of factor in, right? Is the fabric and the design. Anyways, going back to these leggings as a whole, I did really enjoy the way that they looked. I love the way that they felt. I feel that, like, again, I do love the Airbrush fabric in itself when it comes to being a performance fabric. But yeah, you will want to size up if you feel like you're in between, just because they are quite compressive and a little bit of a work to get on. The way I see it, these are, like I said, the cousin of the legacy leggings, but more for performance. So definitely see myself using these for cardio or any instances where I'm going to be sweating a lot and I want something to be fast drying. So these are going to be quite literally your perfect everyday Airbrush legging. I can foresee these being a staple at Buffbunny collection, given that they put every day in there. So definitely if you're looking for more performance fabric leggings, these ones would be a great one to add to your collection. Next up, we have the Form seamless leggings. We have seen these before last year, so it's not like they're brand new. However, I feel like something changed with these leggings. Even putting the small on top of the small from the first time that they launched, these ones feel, one, they feel looser, and they also look a little bit bigger when you lay them flat compared to the other ones. So I'm not sure exactly what they did here. I don't know if maybe it's just the fabric being different because of the dyes. Like that's usually sometimes something that's a factor, is like the different colors that you put pieces through alters the way that they fit. So I did find that in the green color that I had, they did feel quite looser than the hot pink ones that I had from the original time that the Form seamless came out. So I'm trying to figure out more around that, but that is something that I noticed. Do I think it's significant enough that I had to size down? Absolutely not. But because they did fit a little bit looser, again, excess fabric means some camel toe situation. And as some of you guys have already, kind of expressed and experienced yourselves, sometimes seamless is already so prone to camel toe in general, just given that it's such a thin and like lighter fabric. And so that's the only thing that sucks, is that I find that I love the Form seamless and I usually gravitate more towards like the shorts and stuff, but like with the leggings specifically, I found that one, I got more camel toe this time around, and then I feel that it did fit a little bit like not as tight. So that's just something to keep in mind. I do overall love the design of the Form seamless. I love the accentuated just accents of the corset lines in the waistband, and then the sheer bit of, glute contouring that goes on the sides of the three lines. Like I love all the details of the Form seamless. It's just that, like I said, I don't know what changed to make it feel and like fit a little bit differently. So yeah, we do see Form seamless coming back, which is great. just overall. Definitely something that could be like curable with, you know, the period panties that I like to talk about. So those are the NYX underwear. Those are like my tried and true. Like if I do have to wear underwear, I always go with the NYX ones. I don't think I've actually talked about this very much in my videos, but I actually go with the thongs, but I go with like the ones that are like the most discreet ones. I'll put a screenshot of the NYX underwear that I get, but yeah, I go with the ones that are the most discreet and like thinnest so that they're not like as thick as, you know, period underwear that's like meant for like a heavier flow, since I'm not actually using them for my period. So that is just my little hack there when it comes to just camel toe situations in general. So yeah, that is everything on the Form Seamless. We're seeing it come back in 4 new colors, but yeah, just keep that in mind when it comes to sizing. Overall, these are definitely more on the light to medium compression, so just also keep that in mind as well. Form Seamless overall is also a very, very, very stretchy fabric, so keep that in mind, is that it's a really nice fabric for just, like I said, so many different disciplines depending on what you're looking for, but it's a very, very comfortable fabric in general. Lots of stretch, lots of forgiveness there as well. It's not one of those seamless fabrics that we've seen in other brands where it's really, really compressive. This one's definitely more on, like I said, the light to medium. So if you're worried about that, you won't have to, because this one is very much on the more flexible side of things, I would say, when it comes to analyzing, you know, seamless in general across various brands. So sorry to interrupt the video, but not sorry, because we are doing a giveaway specifically for this YouTube video. So if you guys want to win a $50 Buffbunny collection gift card, all the things that you need to do are going to be on the screen here. Make sure you follow all the instructions properly. Cash, I'm trying to tell them about the giveaway. So make sure you guys follow all the instructions properly. I will tell you right now, there is a greater chance of you winning this gift card here on YouTube than there is of you winning it on Instagram, because there's not as many of you guys on here. And so if you guys are wanting to win one of the gift cards that are out there in the Instagram world and the YouTube world, then I would highly suggest you guys at least recommend, I highly suggest that you guys at least enter this one, because like I said, there's a higher chance of you winning. So make sure to follow these instructions, and I will announce the winner on Friday, January 17th, well before the launch, and I will give you guys your gift card. So there's one $50 gift card available here to win on this YouTube video, and then there's also 2 over on Instagram. So you guys have 3 chances to win a $50 Buffbunny collection gift card. With that being said, we can get back to the video. All right, one of the last like more active wear pieces that aren't lounge is going to be the new Colorado Flare fleece bottoms. I did not realize that I wanted a fleece flare until these Colorado fleece flares came about, and I absolutely love them. I love the Colorado fleece situation in general. I think it's such a perfect piece, or like fabric, I should say, for colder times, whether your climate or whether your house likes to be blasted with AC. I do love the Colorado fleece. It's such a unique thing. And the way that I described this when it first came out is it kind of feels like you're wearing thermal wear without being like so heavy duty. I personally love wearing it when I'm going for walks with the dogs during the winter time right now. And I just feel like nice and warm, but also feel very cute in my like aesthetic activewear. So I do find like I gravitate towards these more so when I'm doing like outdoor activities, or I know I'm going to be in like a colder setting. So the fact that I get to rock them in like a flare situation, I love. We all love the flares. I'm so glad that it came out in 2024 and like became as popular as it did. And so I do love having a flare option now. I do find that the Colorado fleece flares do come up a little bit high in regards to the rise, which for me, I personally love. I know some found it come like really ultra high rise. For me, I felt like they were just like literally perfect. The short inseam is also perfect for me. You guys will see that like I don't need to worry about it being too long no matter what shoe I wear. And so I really do like that we do have a short inseam here. It's kind of funny because I feel like the whole like short inseam selection is a real hit and miss for me. Sometimes the short is even still too long, but I found for these Colorado fleece flares, they were perfect. I even enjoyed wearing them just like around the house because they're just so cozy and comfy inside. Like they're just like a comfort kind of piece. They also have a really beautiful V waist and glute contouring on the back. So I do overall love these fleece flares a lot. And can we just talk about this oat milk color? It is just so stunning. I wanted it, but I also was like, oh, I want to try other things. And like, I feel like I might need to go and grab these myself because the oat milk color is just so beautiful. And like I said, while I do gravitate towards the Colorado fleece situation more in like the colder weather months, I just see myself also wearing it indoors when we're blasting the AC in the summer. So like, we can wear it year round, okay? Or like even think about like on airplanes, like airplanes are cold, right? So it's kind of like that could be like a good airport fit. So I don't know, I feel like I need to get the Colorado oat milk situation because she's just stunning. I definitely would not recommend these for like a high intensity day by any means. I very much recommend them more for like your low impact days where you're not sweating a lot, because I will say, one, they are warmer in general because of the fleece, and two, they're not the most like sweat wicking situation by any means. So be mindful of when you choose to wear any of the Colorado fleece pieces. Now let's get into the sports bras, and what perfect way to transition into the sports bras by going into the Colorado fleece crop top. As you guys know, we have already seen the Colorado fleece top. The biggest changes that you're going to see is that there's no more hood on the crop. I thought that was cute, honestly. I thought it was cute, but I also mentioned how it would be fine without the hood as well, just in case you were, you know, layering with something that did have a hood, and then just so that it's like less bulky kind of thing. And then like, you know, in the gym, how often are you really like wearing a hood? I mean, I guess it's a whole conversation in itself, but you know what I mean. They removed the hood, and then they also made it a little bit more true to size when it comes to the sizing. I unfortunately don't have the updated one to compare to the old one, but I'll put some notes on here from the other athletes who were able to compare the old to the new one. But like I said, this oat milk, absolutely need. Like it just looks so freaking good, and I need it. Overall, like I even mentioned with the bottoms, I do find that these are more of like a low activity situation because again, they are fleeced inside, and then they also don't provide any crazy support or anything like that. I very much see the Colorado fleece set here with the crop top and the pants just being more of like an aesthetic outfit. From what I've seen and what I've heard, I feel like everyone is loving the adjustments in the Colorado fleece top. And so I would say go ahead with the same sizing. I know that some have noticed like the band at the bottom does cause a little bit of gaping even with their true size. And so that's just something to be mindful of. I personally experience that in general with my bras because I do have such a big cup size and then a much smaller like rib cage. So it's just something that I'm personally used to, like even with the bra that I'm wearing right now, I'm experiencing that. So just something to be mindful of, but overall the notes are that they did update the sizing to be a bit more true. So stick with your true bra size. Next is the POSHKNIT sports bra. This one I can definitely see people gravitating towards as an everyday, just like basic bra. I think something that a lot of people love about this is just kind of the plain seams on it. The most bulky seam that we have on it is the one that's under the bust there. It very much reminds me of the corset tanks that we saw at one point in one of the collections. I want to say it was either last year or the year before that, where it kind of has like a thicker like embroidering situation happening. Just kind of like add to the silhouette of the female body. And then we have a nice thicker band underneath as well. And then of course we have the tapering straps happening as well. So they're not all the way thin and they're not all the way thick. They kind of just taper off into a thinner one. And then they go into an adjustability, which I love, love, love. As you guys know, me, bras with adjustability, we love her. We're best friends. And so I do enjoy the POSHKNIT sports bra. For me, I feel like they're very similar to the collagen sports bra that we saw last year. In regards to design, I do see a lot of similarities there. They're still different when you actually put them side by side, front and back, but I do find like that's probably the most similar one. I kind of see her as like a spaghetti strap version of the ROSA bra in a way. So that's kind of my best way to like kind of compare to other bras that we've seen. It definitely does provide more of a medium support. And then obviously depending on the size that you get and adjusting the straps accordingly, you can feel a little bit more locked in per se, or a little bit more relaxed. And I do personally love the ability to kind of adjust that whenever I want. We also always love a little bit of a scoop neckline. I do find this one's like scoop with like a very, very small little sweetheart happening. So it's not fully scoop like say the ROSA, but it is pretty scoop, you know? As always, we have the removable bust pads as well. And just overall, like I said, I do see her as a perfect kind of like plain bra that is like not too high compression, not too light support, like a nice in between. And again, I do see myself grabbing this one alongside my other everydays, such as the ROSA bra. And if you're someone who likes a little bit of a longer line bra, this is again another great option. I do find that I have less cleavage with this one than I do with the collagen bra. The collagen bra, I am just like, I'm definitely out there. The everyday one, I feel like I have a little bit less, but still the ROSA bra gives me the most coverage, which we will be getting to that bra in a second here. But I do find the cleavage situation is a little bit more with this one, but definitely less than the collagen. So it's kind of like an in-between, like I said, collagen and ROSA. All right, next is what I literally just mentioned is the ROSA bra. She is an absolute OG to Buffbunny collection. Like, I don't think you understand. Those who know, know. But ROSA bra was the debut of the Newbury fabric. And let me tell you, she continues to be one of my favorite bras of all time. And I think it's just such a great bra to start with if you're new to the company. And it's just such a great bra for all cup sizes. So seeing her come back, I'm like, absolutely yes. I am devastated that I don't have her right now and I haven't been able to really compare her to the other ones. But I just feel if I already love the ROSA bras and with the updates that they mentioned that they did, I just feel like I'm going to love her even more. So just overall, I'm having all the feels of seeing her come back in 3 new colors. And I really, really hope that this isn't the only time that we're seeing her this year, because I do think she's, again, just such a great staple bra for on its own, underneath things, and just in everyday situations. And I truly believe that everyone should have at least one ROSA bra in their Buffbunny collection. So if there's any bra that you're contemplating on, it will be the ROSA bra that I'm going to say go ahead and do so. This one provides a little bit more of a higher support only because it does come a little bit higher and, like I said, isn't giving you as much cleavage. This one also does give you a little bit more of a strappy back situation. And again, I've just always loved the ROSA bra. Like, I literally have nothing bad to say. It's also a little bit longer lined and it's in my favorite Newbury fabric. Like, it's just so good, okay? Just so good, and there's just barely anything that you can complain about it. Other than, would love to see her with some adjustability. Like, how awesome if we could see her with some adjustability. Like, it would just be so good. So that's the only thing that I say that you could probably add to make this a little bit better. With that being said, the main differences that we're going to see in the ROSA bra this time around versus the last time we saw her is going to be that there is a raised armhole by 1/2 inch on all sizes. It's a small update, but it is going to be something that does resolve a lot of the side boob situations that a lot of us were seeing, more specifically the larger chested girls. I know for myself, I definitely have a little bit more side boob on the ROSA. Like, it's not anything like significant that makes me like not want to wear it on its own, but it was still there. And so the fact that they added 1/2 inch, I feel like is going to be perfection. So very excited to actually try it in person. And with my matching legacy leggings, my 2 favorites, just perfection. And in the smoke cherry, you're kidding. You're just absolutely kidding. Next up, we have the Everyday Airbrush Sports Bra, which you can only assume matches the Everyday Airbrush leggings. Unfortunately, these are not in my possession yet, so I'm not too sure in regards to how this fits. I actually don't think anyone will have these in time for their YouTube videos unless it's like later on into the week. I'm currently filming this right now like like a whole week before the launch. And even if it does arrive to me before the launch, unfortunately, I won't be able to try it on for you guys, but I will be sure to update you guys over on Instagram as I get more information on how this fits and feels as other athletes get it. So unfortunately for me right now, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. However, I will say by looking at the photo itself, it's very much giving ROSA, POSHKNIT, and the Twilight bra that we saw forever ago, like a hybrid of them. I do see that it does look like it comes up a little bit higher than the ROSA. So again, giving that more additional support, which makes sense with it being complementary to the airbrush fabric. So for those cardio moments, those high impact moments, is definitely going to give you the support and the coverage, which you guys know is very important to me when it comes to being the BTC El Presidente, is that I do like to have bras that have the coverage and the support together. And so by looking at the bra, it does look like we get that little bit more coverage coming up this way. We do have the little bit of thicker straps, not as thick as the ROSA one, but very similar. And then we do have the same kind of like silhouette situation happening as we saw in the POSHKNIT one. So that's why I'm saying I feel like it's a little bit of the hybrid of the two. And it is going to be in that airbrush fabric as well. So again, I think it's going to be absolutely perfect for those cardio moments, those sweat wicking moments, all those things. And it does also have the adjustable bondage straps for support. So again, very interested to see what this like bonded strap situation is like, given that we've never seen like straps specifically being bonded in a bra like this. So we will see how that goes, but I do have very high hopes for this one just from what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, what I'm hearing thus far. For this one specifically, I did go ahead and ask for my usual size large just because one, it is airbrush fabric, so it is a little bit more compressive, and hopefully large is good. I would hate for it to be a little bit too big, but we will see. So I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I can on all the things. Next up, we have the Airbrush Impact Sports Bra, which is what I'm wearing here. We have not seen her since the Journey collection in collaboration with Nancy. That was forever ago. Like, we're talking Gabs had her straight bangs going. That's how long ago it was. And so love seeing her come back in the new airbrush fabric and with some few differences as well. Some of the main differences that you'll notice between the one that I'm wearing here in comparison to the one from the Journey collection is that this one is the original like design. However, we do have it in, again, this new airbrush fabric. And then we also changed the fit a little bit to be more true to size. And then I did notice that the cutouts are just a little bit different also on the back. All right, so we have a few differences that I want to point out on this now that I see some like comparison videos. So the biggest one would be that the mesh in the front is also different. So you'll notice here on this front shot, okay, right here, you can see that the mesh is quite wider in the front than it is on the new version. Obviously the mesh is different. I already pointed that out. Like these are like the bigger, like kind of jersey mesh kind of situations. And this is more kind of like the regular mesh that you would see. So there's that difference in itself. So definitely a lot more clavage situation happening here than on this one, but you see it more on this one because of the mesh that it is. And then, yeah, so you can see that right here, like the biggest difference between the two. I did find that this didn't, like this size large didn't give me as much gapping as this one is, but then you can also tell that like the design in general is just a little bit more, it's different quite a bit when you actually put them side by side. So like even here you can tell it's a lot thicker than it is here. Like this kind of follows the Aurora crop silhouette in a sense. So like it just comes in more narrow here, which is obviously a lot more flattering too. And then, yeah, so I just noticed that a lot. And then something else I noticed on the old one, so you can see right here, it kind of comes in a fold right here. So like that was an issue in that one, but on the new one, you definitely don't notice that. Like it's more flush on the back. So I'm having issues up here, but it's nice and flush on the back. Furthermore, when it comes to the back design, you can also tell that this comes in a little bit more as like a racer back. This one comes a little bit higher, and you can see exactly where it was actually cutting me right here. I could feel it immediately as I was wearing this. So while this one fit more flush against my body as a whole, being both larges, I did find that this was like really irritating here and where it like exactly cut. So this one I did not feel that at all. You can also tell in general that they made this significantly skinnier on this one than the old one, and which kind of like transpired everywhere else, right? So you can like tell that the design itself definitely did get updated as a whole. So that's important to note in general. Some other things is obviously with the logo changing to silicone on almost all the pieces that we see of Buffbunny collection now. That's a big difference. It's funny. My mom was like helping me film these try-ons and she's like, it looks like the Eiffel Tower. And now I fully see what she's talking about. So yeah, I just wanted to notice, like point out some of the other details that I noticed as I was watching the footage back, just so that you guys could see. But yeah, you can really tell, especially here, that like there's a bunch of gapping in the back. So yeah, overall, I like the design improvements. I just think that a medium probably would fit me better so that I wasn't having as much gapping on the sides here. It probably would make the bottom band like quite tight, but it was a little bit looser than say this one here. So just some, you know, things to consider depending on if you guys have this and you're kind of comparing the two. But yeah, this is probably the only airbrush piece that I'd recommend sizing down for this reason of like the gapping happening. So that, I mean, as like a regular top, like if I just wore this as like a tank top and like wasn't too concerned about that, like it's fine, but it is kind of significant on how much gapping I get. Like you can even see right here, right? So yeah, I just think it would fit nicely flush against me if I went a size down. So I just wanted to add that update there when it comes to the comparison between the old and new. In the PDF, you guys will see a bigger comparison of the two side by side. I will say that this one, I felt like my large was a little bit too big. As you guys can see, I'm getting a little bit of gapping here. I find that bras like this specifically, where it's kind of like a top and like just thicker bands and coverage all together. I do have kind of hit and miss with either the medium or the large fitting me better. As I've said many times before in my videos, I go towards mediums for sports bras to give me a little bit more like compression. However, that does mean I get more side boob, I get more clavage, things like that. So I'm very mindful of when I opt in for a medium versus a large. For the most part, I am a large. Again, it just depends on the design and the fabric itself. And so for this one, I thought I would need a large because it was that airbrush fabric. However, I am finding, like I said, I am getting a little bit of gapping here. The band on the bottom, because it's not adjustable or anything, I feel that it's a little looser than I would like, especially if this is going to be more of a high impact bra. So for this one specifically, I actually find myself wearing this more for like sweatier situations than I do in situations where I'd be like jumping, running, or anything like that. And so that's just personally for me. I do love this sexy situation here of this mesh, how you can definitely see a lot of like different version of cleavage, but like it's still tasteful. I definitely feel comfortable wearing it to the gym or whatever. But I do love seeing and such an old piece come back and in a different way and in an updated fabric as well. So in regards to sizing, I'd say if you're in between, go down, just because it is a little bit more of like I said, like a little bit of like a crop tank top situation in my opinion, just the way that it's kind of like structured and everything like that. And just based on how the large is fitting me versus like my other large bras that I was happy with. So just something to keep in mind is that I would say size down if you're in between, and like, yeah, use that to your discretion, but just, yeah, keep in mind that we do have quite a bit of coverage happening here. We don't have a lot of adjustability. So that's kind of my personal opinion. And like, I wouldn't typically suggest sizing down in the airbrush, but again, for this specifically, I am suggesting that because like I said, for me, the large didn't quite work out the way that the larges normally do. Now it's not too big where like I definitely can't wear it or anything. It's just that I noticed that like right off the bat. So that's just my 2 cents on the Airbrush Impact sports bra. Last sports bra is the Form Seamless sports bra. This one, I didn't feel as much of a difference as much as I found with the leggings. And so this one I feel pretty much the same. I do prefer the medium over a large. So for this one specifically, I did opt in for the medium because I just find because the Form Seamless isn't super compressive, I did need to size down. Literally perfect example of what I was just saying. I did need to size down just to give me a little bit more support. But with that, like I do notice that like I have a little bit of more side boob showing and whatever. But for me to give me just a little bit more support, that was worth it in my opinion. And like when you know, pick and choose your battles of what's going to bother you the most, that's personally how I go about that. So for me personally, I still like the medium in the Form Seamless and didn't find as much of a difference in this one as I did with the leggings in the Form Seamless family. However, the one thing that I did notice is that they did change it so that it wasn't so uniboob situation with the pads in there.
What the fuck?
See this happening? Are you recording that?
Yeah.
Now you gotta like, you know, separate them.
And so they added a mesh insert so you can insert boob pads to kind of keep them separated. So that is the main difference that I saw in the Form Seamless sports bra specifically. But other than that, everything is pretty much the same. We always love a 2-in-1 situation. So if you didn't know, this one is reversible. I oftentimes just wear the keyhole version just because again, like the other version is just very like cleavage situation. So yeah, still am a big fan of the Form Seamless sports bra. All right, moving into tops. The Revolution full tank is back. Again, another piece that we have not seen in such a long time, and another one that I do not have currently to compare to the old one. So from what I know, these are the updates that are happening with the new Revolution tank, and that is numerous, and I mean numerous fit adjustments to be more true to size. So I'm hoping that some of the notes that we made, I know from what I remember, the issues that I had with it is that I found that like the sizing that I got for like the boob part was fine, but then as it got to my like waist and downwards, it was just so loose. And so I'm hoping that with these adjustments, it'll feel a little bit more fitted throughout and more true throughout as well. Again, these are one of the PR pieces that not a lot of us have just yet. And so as I'm filming this right now, I don't have much information on it, and I will update you guys as I can collect more information as we go. But overall, just so excited to see a full length moment for a lot of you that have been looking for a full length tank to come back. I know it's been a hot minute since we've seen like a true full length form fitting one situation. And I mean, we just love the Revolution tank in general. The fact that they took one of the most loved sports bras for all the different cup sizes and made it into a full length tank top, I think is so awesome. And so if you guys love the Revolution tank, or if maybe you're like, oh, I wish the sizing was just a little bit more up to date, this is definitely your time to grab a new updated version. And hopefully it's even more better than what you first initially loved about it to begin with. I have high hopes, as you can tell. So again, I will report back to you guys when I can in regards to other thoughts that I'm hearing and then what I think once I'm back from my trip, and I'll update you guys over on Instagram for that as well. Now, when it comes to the Build crop tee, the Lifting Club crop tee, the Build a long sleeve, and then the Lifting Club long sleeve tee, I don't have any of these, and so I'm just gonna add some information on the screen here of what I know of them. For me personally, I'm just going ahead with the sizes that I have on the screen depending on the fit that I like. Now, the one long sleeve I do have out of all the tees, the long sleeves, the crop situations that is coming out in this collection is the Drape long sleeves tee. That one for sure I wanted to try just because something about it, I was like, that looks very interesting. And I also love that was just plain, just a plain long sleeve tee. I do like the drape long sleeve, and like I was saying, the modal is what really makes it like just like a more leveled up plain t-shirt. And so I do love the like extra stretch and just softness that that modal does add to the long sleeve. So I do think it's a nice, like just a classic plain comfortable long sleeve. And so here it is in comparison to the one that recently came out during Black Friday. This one is like your traditional, like usual 100% cotton t-shirt. I will say it's like a little softer than your traditional 100% cotton t-shirts, but it's nothing like incredible, you know what I mean? And as far as I know, that's how all the other tees are fitting, is very similar to what we've been seeing recently in all of the graphic tees. So not quite like the t-shirts, like the ones that are just t-shirts, like just white screen printed, those ones are like its own thing. But like all the ones that we've been seeing that are like more like crop or like long sleeve, like a little bit more customization to them and like uniqueness to them, they have all been feeling and fitting the same. I would say that this one is the most like unique out of all the long sleeves, crops, and all that stuff that we're getting. So yeah, I had asked the Libra sisters, and that's essentially what they said, is that they are all fitting similar to this shirt and like again the recent ones that we saw near the end of last year. And this one is really the only one that's kind of like its own and like different. This one is a size small, I believe. Let me just double check for you. But no, I got a medium. So this one is a medium here that I'm wearing. As you can see, it's like roomy, but it's still like, you know, not too oversized. And this is a small. So I would say it's pretty true to size. Because a small, I'm sure, would look very similar to this. But the fact is that again, that modal is just a little bit more stretchier, a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the long sleeves and shirts in general. I will still add some screenshots from the other girls too, but yeah, just wanted to kind of compare the two for you guys here. Next up, we have the hoodies and jackets, and we're going to start with the Colorado fleece zip up. I love the zip up so much, again, for the same reasons as what I mentioned on the other Colorado pieces. It's just such a cozy feel with the like little bit of fleece line inside. And I honestly love the like handcuff situation so much. That is really, really helpful, especially in the colder climates where you're like not really wearing like gloves or anything like that. But like maybe you're running, or maybe you're just like going from your car to the store or something like that, and you just want to keep your hands a little warm. I think it's such a clever idea, to be honest with you. And so I personally love it. I like the whole design of the jacket in itself. It's kind of like a nice form-fitting one, but again, just gives you that little bit of extra warmth. It's definitely great to use whether you're going for walks, whether you're going for a run. It's definitely created and designed in a way to be functional, comfy, and cute as well, and warm. I personally don't have the updated version. However, the main differences that they did do in these jackets from the notes that I got from the design team is that they did open up the arms just a little bit. That was something that a lot of us noticed, is that it was like so tight in the arms. And so they did open that up just a little bit to be a little bit more comfortable. So I'll make sure to check in with some of the other athletes who have the old one and the new one to compare, to see how much more comfortable they felt in the arm situation with these updated sizing fit. We love when we listen to feedback. So the fact that they have opened it up to feel a little bit more relaxed and more true to size, we just love it. Okay, so thank you, design team, Buffbunny Collection, for just listening to the feedback from not only the athletes, but the customers. We love a company that is receptive to the feedback and does something about it. So thank you so much. And again, I am excited to see what others have to say about this update. Okay, before we get into like the other hoodies and stuff like that, let's go to the bodysuits, because I feel like the whole plush fleece in itself needs its own moment. So let's just wrap it up with the bodysuits when it comes to everything that's not plush fleece. Okay, so the bodysuits, I was so excited for these because you guys know, number one, I love my bodysuits so freaking much. And the fact that they were in the POSHKNIT, again, I love the POSHKNIT fabric in itself. I'm just struggling a little bit when it comes to the leggings, but when it comes to the fabric, I love. And so the fact that we saw this bodysuit coming out, I was like, yes. And the details that we're seeing with, you know, the glute situation and like the mesh inside of it, I am just so excited for it. I'm here for it, right? Again, similar to the leggings, we are getting camel toe. So I'm like, what is going on? Is it a me problem? Is it a POSHKNIT problem? Is it just like the bodysuit situation? Like, I don't know, but I am so upset about it because I'm like, ugh, the fact that underwear is gonna have to ruin this whole bodysuit situation, I'm just like, don't love it. However, I feel like it's not as bad and noticeable because we have 2 layers to the bodysuit. So there's this mesh layer inside the bodysuit, which I was like, what is going on here and why? So you'll notice the mesh lining throughout the midsection as well as through the thigh. And what I'm assuming it's for is just for that little bit of breathability when it comes to using it for working out, or if you're like wearing it in a hot weather and you're sweating. And so for me, I didn't find it bothers me at all. I just think it'll be interesting to see how it is in like the hotter weather. So I do love the shapeshifter bodysuit in general, okay? Like, I think that it's another great option. And I honestly really love the glute contouring situation. I think they did a really good job on that. It doesn't, like, I think it's cute, you know? My problem is this camel toe. And the thing with bodysuits too, as I've expressed to you guys many times about bodysuits, is that you kind of have to choose, do you want it to fit the best throughout the body? And if you're a bigger cup like me, BTC, are you okay with how much cleavage is happening? I've done this for a few of the bodysuits that we saw last year where I went down to my size small because that is my true legging size. And I love the way that it fits throughout my body and specifically throughout my legs. And so I do the small. But the problem is that the cleavage situation is cleavaging. It is very out there. And so you either have to be good with that. You can wear a sweater over it, a shrug over it, whatever you want to do with it, but just know that it's definitely not covering the cups very much in the small, and you guys will see that in the video, obviously. Now with the medium, definitely a lot better for the cups and the girls, and I'm definitely not feeling as tight like in the straps or anything, but through the body and through the legs, I do find that it's just a little bit looser than I'd like. Like, I like my shit tight, like my leggings. I like them pretty fitted. Obviously not too tight where it's like rolling and comfortable and blah, 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 like I'm busting out. But yeah, that's my problem, is that I find that when I go with my legging size, I like it throughout, but then the cleavage is just strong. Cleavage game, strong, especially when it's a scoop situation. But then when it says up to a medium, it's like, okay, the cleavage is good, but then it's like kind of loose and not as like form-fitting as it should be throughout the body. And so that's my only problem with bodysuit sizing. And I will confirm that this still is the issue with this one. And then especially with like, I find that there wasn't a lot of clearance, I guess you could say, in the bust area, given like where the seams are like under the boob and stuff. And so again, it's an issue that I have in general, just being larger chested, but it is still an issue that I kind of had. I do love the adjustability in the straps and everything. And again, the POSHKNIT is just such a beautiful, beautiful fabric. It feels very just like so good. And so I love the bodysuit, but there's just my usual issues that I have with bodysuits. Another thing that I found interesting, and like, I'm curious if like this would change maybe the way that I feel and fit with it. But when you put it on the floor, you can see that it definitely like kind of comes outwards on the hips. And so I'm wondering if like for someone like me who doesn't really have a whole lot of hips going, is that why I'm getting the camel toes? Because there is that little bit of excess fabric to give that silhouette. I don't know. I'm still waiting for the design team to get back on me on this. So I'll make sure to give you guys an update on the screen here with their response. But that was just something that I was like curious about, if that's maybe why I'm getting the camel toe. But yeah, I'm just very sad that I love the bodysuit in itself. And like, I can deal with the cleavage, but the camel toe is just, I feel like the common denominator is POSHKNIT. So I'm just like, how do we fix this? And maybe it's just that anything POSHKNIT, gotta wear the NYX underwear or the panty liner situation, and that's just what it is, okay? So anyways, always love seeing some new bodysuits come through. Would love a little bit more clearance in the cup area to give me a little less cleavage for the bigger cup girls. But other than that, I love all the detail that we have on the thigh. I love the mesh in there. I love just like everything about it in general, but we just would love to see a little bit refinement there, specifically for the BTC. All right, so battle of the bodysuits, basically. And I will say that this one, I can't remember what she's called. Ugh, I can't remember what she's called. I want to say it's the contour. Nope. Fuck. I can't remember. Anyways, this one is my favorite. And I think just like between like obviously I love my Newbury, and it's not even that it's flare. Like if this was like even just like not flare, like I'd still love it. Like just the way that this seam was, and then just the back being very much that butterfly detail that I love. I think that this one is the most flattering on my body type specifically. And just overall, like I didn't have any camel toe issues with it. I have the least amount of like boob issues with it. And I think the common thing is like there's no seam here kind of restricting me. It has adjustability obviously. So this one is still my favorite. I think the main one to like compare to was the corset one, just given that it both had, that similar design underneath of it, right? Yes. I can't tell because it's black. And like the similar like neckline and everything. And then like just having that like shapewear, you know, goal, I guess, with like, especially with this corset being bonded and everything. I know this wasn't that big of a hit for a lot of people last year. And this one is also in the Perform fabric. So the main thing with this one, and so like, I definitely feel it being like, you know, kind of like shapewear-esque. I feel like this one from the Juicy collection is the most shapewear-like. I mean, it even looks like shapewear. Like a lot of my shapewear literally has the exact same kind of like structure, and does the same thing to even like my body fat here in the hips. Like it'll really suck me in here, but then kind of like move it down here. And so I find that this one's the most true to being like a shapewear like bodysuit. This midsection was definitely the most compressive out of all of them. So this one still wins for like highest compression. And you have to remember this one is also made of like seamless material in general. So this one is again more true to being more of like a shapewear situation. I say between these two, this one I liked the most, given that I do, like I said, I like the POSHKNIT fabric. This one is also a Perform fabric, so it's like kind of hard to like compare that. I also like love all the detailing of the seams and everything and the glute in the back. While I am like obviously having the side boob spillage, like you can clearly see I have that throughout these three in general. And I do like how this one has like the different adjustability in the back, like the band that was straight across. But I would say when it comes to like the midsection and like the goal of trying to, you know, be like shapewear in the midsection, this one did the better job of it. And I think the double layer of the mesh plus the the POSHKNIT really did help with that. And as I explained in text earlier above, the reason that they added the extra, like not the extra fabric, but when you lay it flat, you can really see that it's kind of like an hourglass silhouette, even when it's like not on a body, is so that you could really emphasize it being a bit more compressive in the midsection. So really bringing in that material in. And then, like I said, the double layer definitely gave it like an additional amount of compression, you know, in the right places. But yeah, my main issue is, as always with my bigger bust, is just kind of where these seams hit. So I think if I were to like rate this is still my number one. This would be number two. And then this would be number three. This one I love, but like it's definitely not the most flattering, just because it is so like compressive there. And I do see this more as like wearing like, again, something over top of it, because it does feel like I'm just wearing shapewear. And I have the most camel toe with this one. This one I get it a little bit as well, and then this one I did get it too. Like I'm wearing underwear with all of these, but this one did not give me camel toe even if I didn't have underwear. So that's kind of like my thoughts overall on like the bodysuits, is that they all kind of have their pros and cons, but these remain to be my favorite ones to date. And yeah, if I just didn't get a camel toe, like it would be not as bad with this one. Yeah, I think that's kind of my overall consensus. And again, this whole camel toe situation can very much be my own problem. But yeah, so just to recap, first, second, third, and then fourth, because like I said, I think this one really needs a specific intention, because like you can see here, even like as much as it really does snatch me and like gives me the freaking curves that are like absolutely insane. You know, when you're just standing there like not posed and stuff, like you could catch yourself in like the most unflattering way. Like look at this right here, you know? So like this one, like when I'm posed and stuff is like nice, but like sometimes if I was just like chilling, like you can definitely catch me in like a bad looking situation, you know? So those are my overall thoughts on the bodysuits. Okay, so I just want to add, now that we're in like a back shot here, so I will say that the back on this one is probably the most flattering for someone like myself who carries a lot of her body fat in her back and in her midsection. As you can see here, because it is a little bit of a lower back and like open like this, I do get a little bit of spillage there. It's like nothing that's like makes you self-conscious or anything like that, because this does come pretty high up, but it is something to like point out. What I didn't love about this one is like, although I loved all the strappiness and like the adjustability, these little cutouts here is where like spillage really happened. And like obviously just adjusting it a little bit like helped a little, but there was that. And then I know a biggest thing that like a lot of women weren't sure of was like how low this went. As you can see my underwear. So I think this one depends on like how high of an underwear you would wear. But that was like another thing there. Although I think it's a really like sexy kind of back, depending on your body type, it might be something that's just like not the most flattering or something that you might be self-conscious of, like myself. And then this one definitely covers more of my back. So as you can see, this does come up higher here, which is nice. So it covered more of my back here. So that was nice on the back side. And like I said, I did like the glutes. So like, I think from the back, like if I could imagine these butterfly seams on this, plus this glute thing and plus like how high it came, like this would win from the back for sure. I'd even be interested to kind of see this one like adjust it a little bit, like maybe remove this just so that we don't have this like triangle happening, and then bring this like a little bit higher just so that people who want to wear like a high-rise underwear doesn't have to worry about that. Again, this one is just like very much like just kind of a plain back, and really where you see a lot happening is how much it like just snatches my waist in to really give me this like hourglass shape. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of hit on that when it comes to the back. So that is my thoughts on the Shapeshifter bodysuit. Now let's get into the new Plush Fleece family, okay? I feel like we always have new families come through, which is like, you know, we had the Cloud, we had the Threads, and now we have the Plush Fleece. Tell me why it didn't really click to me that like Plush Fleece meant quite literally fleece inside of it. When I got it and saw it up close, like I must have just not like zoomed in enough on the photos or something, but when I got it and saw like all the fleece that was inside, I was like, damn, like we said fleecy, okay? We said fleecy for real. And so perfect for the weather that we're having right now here in Calgary. It's warm-ish, but it's like definitely still winter. So I have been gravitating towards this so much with it being a little bit colder in the house, going for walks with the dogs, doing things outside. Like I love these plush fleece for this specific weather, but I can definitely see it getting quite warm as we get into the warmer months. And like, so again, I feel like it's going to be definitely one that people are going to want to wear with their air conditioning on the flights because it's colder in the planes and just in colder climates in general. But like, wow, the fleece inside is there. And the quality overall of these pieces, I feel, is very, very good. You know, it's thick. It feels like very plush, quite literally. And it just feels very dense also. So I do feel like overall the plush fleece is such a nice fabric to have introduced to the company. And like I said, the fleece inside is definitely something very unique that I don't see very often personally. And it's just, let me give you like basically a blanket, but like in some like pieces that you can actually wear, you know? Something else really cool about the plush fleece that I noticed was that there's actually this like texture to it. Like, and you kind of see like little lines in it when you really, really look closely. So that's something to keep in mind as well, is that like there is, like it's not flat per se. Again, it doesn't bother me or anything. It doesn't impact anything literally whatsoever. It's just like a detail that I've noticed. So if you're someone like me who, I don't know, maybe if we do see these colors come out in like, you know, the Newbury or the Airbrush or anything like that, and you want to like mix and match, there is that like texture difference in itself. And like not even just like to the touch, but like visually you can see the texture in it as well. So let's start off with the fleece sports bra. This one is a very comfortable like lounge piece. This bralette is honestly one of my favorite, probably like lounge bralettes that we've gotten amongst like, you know, the Cloud, the Luxe, what else was there? I can't even remember, but like all the ones that are kind of like a sweatsuit situation that had like a bralette with it. This is one of my favorites, more so specifically because we have the adjustable straps and like the crisscross situation. You're definitely not getting a whole lot of coverage by any means, but it is very, very comfortable. And I think what they did really well with this is adding the adjustable straps, but also adding the very, very stretchy elastic at the bottom, which allows for that customization to make sure that it works for every cup size. Furthermore, I do also love the fleece inside. I think it's just such a cozy, comfy situation. And the fact that I will be wearing these in those situations, I think is so perfect to, again, feel like I'm wearing basically a blanket on me at all times, all the way down to my boobs, not just my arms and my stomach, my legs, but like down to my boobs. I am feeling cozy and comfy, you know? So I do love this bralette very much, and I do see myself gravitating towards it a lot in regards to when I just need something that's just comfy but giving me a little bit of support. So I do think that they did a really good job on the bralette in general. Next up, let's get into the hoodies and jackets. Now, when it says oversized fit, they were not playing around with these plush fleece because they are oversized fit. You'll see me mention this when it comes to the hoodies, when it comes to the sweatpants. Everything is quite oversized. So just be aware of that. And if anything in the plush fleece specifically, size down. If you don't want too much of an oversized fit, size down because these are oversized. So let's talk about the quarter zip pullover because I definitely see myself grabbing the quarter zip a lot. I'm just a big fan of quarter zip tops in general. A lot of my sweaters are quarter zip. The quarter zip threads one, I wore that so much last year. But this one is really, really like nice. Like it is a good heavy duty quarter zip situation. And I definitely see myself grabbing a few more colors in this because it's just perfect, to be very honest with you. If it was a little bit more crop, it would be even more perfect for me. But honestly, it was easy for me to just like tuck it in a little bit. Even in the videos, you'll see me kind of like having it like fully out and like pulled down. And then me just kind of tucking it into my bra, but also just like kind of like pulling the bottom band up a little bit and like having that kind of situation. So I think the quarter zip is so awesome. And I love the like detailing, like even in the elbows that they added with like some of the seams that they did. And just overall, I love the big pockets too. I think that's one thing with the threads is that I find that I had a lot of like accidents happening when I'd like raise my arm or if I was laying down and like stretching and stuff because it was so open and being cropped and like there was no elastic at the bottom. Just a lot of situations happened with that, okay? And so I do think that this one is a really good one in general in regards to just being a little bit more heavier duty, being like more on the dense side, the functionality with the like elastic at the bottom, just everything about it I love so, so much. And again, I do see myself potentially getting the other color. Like even though I'm not much of a blue girl, I do love the quarter zip quite a bit, in case you can't tell. Now, I will say I did get a small, and as you can see, she's quite oversized. Like I could almost do an extra small, to be very honest with you, if I wanted it just a little bit fitted. And there is a dryer test that took place and it did not shrink. So shrinking is not a thing. It might be because I wash all of my things in cold water and like maybe if you did like hot and like higher heat, it might shrink, but I still have yet to experiment further with it. But as of right now, there's no shrinking happening with the plush fleece, but just be mindful of that. Like if you really want to like poke the bear on that or not. But just overall, like I've mentioned already, like the plush fleece is really just like such a great high quality piece that I think a lot of people are going to love. But I think the only thing that might deter you from it is that it's going to be quite warm. And if you're already in quite a warm area, it might not be something that you gravitate towards wearing like outside and more, like I said, inside your air conditioning. So just something to be mindful of. But we love the mock neck situation. We love the big pockets. And I do love that I noticed with all the pockets in the plush fleece, there's a little mesh pocket in there. So I'm like, not sure how I'd really use this, but I mean, it's there. So I think that's kind of like an extra security. So like with these big pockets and like cotton pockets in general, I find my phone falling out all the time. I find things that I put in my pockets falling out all the time. And so this mesh one is kind of like an extra security situation. So I do love that. And like I said, even though it is technically a cropped length, if it was like a little bit shorter for, again, it's more of a me thing because I have like no torso. I'd love it even more, but just as is, I do love it. Like I think they really, really perfected the oversized look in general. So just great job team on the plush fleece quarter zip because clearly she loves it. Next we have the zip hoodie. Now this one I did go ahead with a medium because I was just curious on like what a medium would look like. And she is quite large, I will say. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're in between, go with your size down or go even a size down from that, depending on how much oversized you like. But as you can see, this is what the medium looks like on me. And she is quite big. She is like cute for someone like me who does love her oversized situations. Like I love it looking 2 sizes too big. That's just kind of my vibe. But when you put that with like the sweatpants also looking so big, I do just look like I'm drowning a little bit, but like I feel like I can pull it off, you know? So I think it's a personal preference thing, but same thing with the zip hoodie. I just kind of like play around with it by tucking it in or by like just pulling up the like waistband a little bit, or sorry, the elastic at the band, the elastic at the bottom a little bit. This one obviously has a hood where the quarter zip does not. And it does also have the mesh pockets inside. Now, they're not really big or anything like that, but again, they are something that can be an extra reinforcement for anything that you have in your pocket. So yeah, again, I am just big fan. And this strawberry milkshake is so cute. It's like a much more vibrant pink than the berry ice, but still on like the muted side. So I do love the strawberry milkshake in itself. So yeah, the hoodies, I didn't have as much of a worry of it being so oversized looking, but I just want to make it so clear to you guys that like it is truly oversized already. So don't do your typical like what you do with some brands where you size up 2 times, 1 time to give you that oversized look, because she is already oversized. Next up, we have the Plush Fleece Jogger. So I did go ahead and opt in for just the Plush Fleece joggers. I don't personally have the straight-legged ones. So when it comes to the joggers specifically, I do have a small and a medium. And as you may not be surprised, I do prefer the small just because they are quite long. I think that's my biggest thing, is that they're very long. So not only are they already looking very oversized, but then the length does really give that drowning effect. And so I think that's one thing that I would love to see, is maybe like a different inseam for joggers as well. I know that we're seeing different inseams for, you know, flare leggings and leggings in general, but I do think that adding that even for the joggers is good. So like, even though that the elastic is there to like kind of help keep it up, like you can just see there's such an excessive amount of fabric at the bottom, even in the small. So like the medium gave me so much, the small still gave me so much, but the medium was like quite excessive when you compare the two. So that's my only thing, is that they're quite long. But yeah, like even for the bottoms, it is just confirmed that the Plush Fleece do not go more bigger in your sizes than what is your true size. And if that go down even more, like I've said probably 8 million times already, but I just really want to like emphasize that to you guys. I overall didn't find that I was getting any pilling or anything, and I even wore the joggers like all day long. And so far so good when it comes to the pilling. I also didn't notice too much dog hair on them, but we'll see as I continue to wear them more. But I mean, I think in general too, like for me personally, especially with Rex, I am just used to his hair being literally on all my clothes. So it's just kind of one of those things. I will say that I don't find the Plush Fleece grabs onto the dog hair nearly as much as say like cloud fabric does. So that's good, and like not nearly as much as like even Newbury or Airbrush. So it's not nearly as much, which is nice. Something else really cool about the Plush Fleece that I noticed was that there's actually this like texture to it. Like, and you kind of see like little lines in it when you really look closely. So that's something to keep in mind as well, is that like there is like, it's not flat per se. Again, it doesn't bother me or anything. It doesn't impact anything literally whatsoever. It's just like a detail that I've noticed. So if you're someone like me who, I don't know, maybe if we do see these colors come out in like, you know, the Newbury or the Airbrush or anything like that, and you want to like mix and match, there is that like texture difference in itself. And like not even just like to the touch, but like visually you can see the texture in it as well. So I also love an elastic waistband with an adjustable drawstring. You guys know I love that feature just because I think it just allows for you to, again, further customize all these pieces to fit you better in your body. So I always love when there's an actual adjustable drawstring happening there. So those are my overall thoughts of the joggers, is that just like the sweaters, honestly, I could have probably gone down to an extra small. I might order extra smalls in all of my stuff just to kind of see and compare, since clearly shrinking, it's not doing very much. With the threads, on the other hand, the minute you put that shit in the dryer, that stuff, it was all shrinking. So just keep that in mind if you're being experimental a little bit. But that is all the things on the Plush Fleece joggers. And like I said, I don't have the straight leg pant ones, but there is a straight leg pant option. It's just that I noticed that the pieces all had different colors available also. So just keep that in mind too, is that like, depending if you're looking at the quarter zip or the straight leg versus the jogger, the bralette, and the zip up, there are different colors available. So if you're like me, who's a matchy queen, that was a big deciding factor in me as well, choosing certain pieces. So just keep that in mind, that not all Plush Fleece pieces are coming in the same colors. So when you're kind of designing your outfits that you want to buy from this collection, just keep that in mind. These ones are noted to be a seasonal limited edition, and I'm hazarding to guess that seasonal limited edition means literally it's only for this season, given that it is a plush fleece. And like I said, the fleece is fleecing, okay? She is quite warm, she is quite thick there. So yeah, like it's not like thick like a jacket fleece that you're like maybe thinking of, but it's like, it's there. It's not like as small and short like the Colorado fleece. Like it's like you know, it's there. You'll see it close up in the videos and the photos. But like I said, it's not like a significant amount that like you're wearing it as like a jacket or like snow pants or anything, or like you can't wear anything underneath per se. It's just that like it's inevitably fleecy under there. That's literally what I've been calling it, is fleecy. I know it's fleece, but I like fleecy instead. So that is all the things on the plush fleece family. I hope to see her at least in another round of colors would be nice. And then we could take a break for her with like the summer, spring situation. And then I'd love to see her come back in like maybe fall or winter, because I do feel like I love these for summer like myself, where we have the 4 seasons and winter is winter, you know? Last but not least, let's do the accessories. We have the dad hat coming out. We have that coming out in just one color though. Let me just swipe over for you as to what color. I believe it's just black. We have it coming out in just the black. This one is a limited edition one. We also do have the POSHKNIT scrunchies coming out. Again, the POSHKNIT fabric is just so luxe and nice. I definitely see that being like a good fabric to be using on your hair, so it's like nice and soft, and it's like protecting the hair also, but then also it's cute as like just like a matchy situation on your wrist. I know I used to do that all the time, is wear my new Brie scrunchie on my wrist with whatever matching, you know, bra or legging that I had, just to kind of like bring it all together, you know? So we do have quite a few colors in the POSHKNIT scrunchies coming out. And then we also have the scrunch socks. We always love a good scrunch sock. I love how they're doing the 3-packs. I love that they're doing like different seasonal colors. And I love that they're just like continuing on with the scrunch sock situation. I personally haven't noticed a big difference in like the sizing being off. I know some people have mentioned that some of the sizing of the scrunch socks in recent launches have been like extremely like inaccurate. I personally haven't experienced that. So even with these ones, like they are truly like the extra small that I've always gotten. And I'm a size 7.5 in my shoes. I personally just think that Buffbunny collection just really nailed it with the scrunch socks in general. I think they did a really good job with that. So like literally, I have so many scrunch socks and I love having so many different pairs because they're just like such a great one. And I just love the whole color situation and how I can do a full monochromatic look, you know? So we do have 2 packs coming out. We have the multi-pack oat milk, and then we have the multi-pack sterling as well. So it's basically like you go with your nudes or you're going with your blues and your blacks. Obviously, I went with my nudes. A new accessory that we're seeing that we haven't seen ever Buffbunny collection do is leg warmers, which is so funny because like I definitely have started to see girls wearing leg warmers at the gym with like their shorts. And so instead of like doing the high socks, they're doing like a leg warmer situation, so you can still wear whatever socks you want. I don't know about wearing them at the gym. I might have to try it. I could definitely see it for the Pilates girls, you know, the Pilates, the Legree, like I could see that for sure. But like lifting, I don't know if I would do the leg warmers, but like, who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind once I try it. I remember when I used to wear leg warmers back in the day, I used to wear them more like literally when I needed my legs to be a little bit warmer in like the winter. So like if I was wearing like sneakers and like it was like cold out, like I would just put those over my leggings or whatever, or like my jeans and stuff. Like I very much use them quite literally to warm up my legs. But I think that with the trend of like Pilates and Legree and everything like that, it makes sense that leg warmers are also coming out. And like I said, I've actually been seeing more people even just wear them at the gym in general. So very interesting to see those coming back. And I love that Buffbunny collection is on it with their own. I will say they seem very, very good quality, just like their scrunch socks. So literally, I feel like they're like the scrunch socks, but in a leg warmer. So they are a little bit longer than the scrunch socks so that you can scrunch them down. But we are seeing those in 2 different colors. They are thick, they are stretchy, and they do have the ribbing on them as well. I do love them as in general, and I honestly don't think I have a pair of leg warmers anymore anyways. So I do love that I now have a pair. But like I said, I'm just not sure if I'm on the trend of wearing them at the gym, like weightlifting gym, just yet. So we'll see if my mind changed. But if you are into it, love that for you. And now you can get some Buffbunny collection leg warmers, you know? Last but not least, the breakthrough belt bag. Not that I need another one, but I do, is coming out in some new colors. I specifically loved the smoked cherry because obviously I'm going to have a full monochromatic moment with my ROSA bra, my legacy leggings, and my belt bag. Like, duh. I honestly have so many breakthrough belt bags. Like the fact that it just dominoed so quickly since they first came out is like a little absurd. I'm looking over there because I'm looking at all of them sitting in my little shelf and I'm like, holy, how many do you need? But I love the smoked cherry one specifically, so I just needed it. But no changes there when it comes to the belt bag. It's still that tone-on-tone situation that we've seen with the other belt bags in recent collections. So no changes there. Still comes with a fully extender situation as well, which we all love. I think it's so awesome that they kick-started the belt bags with the extender. I know so many people who appreciate that so much, and even myself, I love it a lot too. So I do just love the belt bag in general. But guys, that is everything that's coming out in the I'm a Warrior collection, coming out next Saturday on January 18 at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So many goodies in there, some oldies, some new, some things that I'm not really sure how I even feel. And just in general, I think it's really just, like I said, kicking off the new year on such a great note. Do I think I have a lot that I'm like, oh my God, I must have? Kind of. I think it just depends on like kind of what you're looking for. I'll make sure to summarize my favorites, my must-haves, all the things that I think about the pieces as I continue to wear them and all that stuff in my PDF. Like I said, just given the timing of me going away, when I got my package and everything, I feel like I still need to like experiment with the pieces, but I try to give you guys my best opinions on like kind of first impressions and wearing them in the last 48 hours. You guys have no idea how many times I've changed in the last 48 hours, but I will continue to update you guys, like I said, in the PDF as I'm editing this video, as you guys saw, and on my Instagram as well. I highly recommend you guys follow me on Instagram because that's where I'm going to be updating you guys kind of like more and more in live time as we get closer to the launch date. And with that being said, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys are ready if you guys are planning on shopping. And if you guys have any other questions, again, feel free to ask me. I'm always here to answer them for you guys. And if you guys choose to support your girl Gabs, I want to thank you so much because I know you don't have to, but you are choosing to. And I appreciate the shit out of that because like I said earlier in this video, all the opportunities that I've had come my way in the last how many years that I've been with the company is all because of you guys. Not only Buffbunny collection, but all the opportunities that have presented itself in my life in the many different avenues of me being a content creator and all the things. I would not be here without you guys. And so I want to make sure that I start the new year off by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot wait to see what comes of this year in 2025. And I can't wait to do that with you guys as well. So with that being said, thank you guys again so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.